I'm just letting you guys know I'm gonna be playing Uma Musume the whole time we're doing this.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another top tier 10 out of 10 WuWa discussion. As we all know, 2.5 has caused a little bit of a discussion amongst the community of creators. I think, wait, a little bit might be an understatement. A pretty big discussion between morals and characters and the future predictions for the story. So I've assembled some of the top WuWa story enjoyers right here to kind of give their takes on everything 2.5. And we have some awesome guests today. We have the Mad Bran Online, we have Legions, Saint, we will have Braxophone maybe the next hour, who knows, it's up in the air right now. And we also have Kyan, who is kind of new to the gacha space, doing some comic voice dubs. Hello. I appreciate you all for joining. How are you all doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
Tired,
Besides
but
being 100 degrees outside, I'm doing good.
100? Oh my god.
Yeah, we have a heat wave right now. It's like with humidity like 110 degrees outside. I'm not going outside.
Isn't that what water boils at?
Yeah, pretty much.
Water.
My balls were boiling when I went outside.
Ooh, that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Kyan, how are you doing, sir? I don't think people are familiar with you. Can you give us like a quick little hello?
Hello.
Hi. Can you quickly do? Really?
That's what you said to me to do.
Can you give us a quick little?
Oh, you want me to do an introduction
Yeah,
as well?
the intro. Let the people know who you are, Mr. Kai
Instructions weren't
VT.
clear enough.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm a VTuber. I'm here leeching clout off of Cap. And everybody else.
I like the honesty.
I play gacha games. I don't really do gacha content aside from doing like comic dubs.
Your comic dubs are pretty good
scene.
though.
Yeah, no,
You
they
say
get
that,
hella
but they actually
views.
do really well.
Yeah, I'm the Jane Seth guy. If you type it in on YouTube, that's me. I'm the peak Jane Seth from DZD Enjoyer.
Yeah.
That's kind of my background.
Okay, love
That's
that.
it. Nothing
Love that.
interesting.
Bro said VTube her. Yeah, it's okay. It's another British person. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's
or
fine.
VTuber, should I say?
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
yank. Sorry, my bad.
Can you
My fault, gang.
Can you guys both talk like an American for 5 seconds?
All of my
bad.
fun fact, all of my comic dubs are in American accent, so 90% of people don't even realize I'm British half the time.
Yeah,
Just
no.
saying.
Yeah. The only American accent I can do is like the fucking stereotypical Texan accent, like the hell yeah, brother. That's
I
literally
didn't Texan or an
is my
annoying
accent now as
Californian.
well.
That's like my only way. It's one
Wait, I realized Legion and I are outnumbered over here. They're
Yeah,
gonna,
we
like,
are.
You are.
Brax needs to hurry up.
We're
bro.
taking back the
Yeah.
colony. We're taking back the colony.
we're
July
about to
4th was earlier. It's over.
We're about to have a second Boston Tea Party up in here. We're about to fucking.
It's funny because I'm from Boston.
Let's go.
Oh. Okay, well, let's just get into how we thought overall about the Phrolova quest. I think most people here could agree it was a pretty good quest, even for Kuro standards. All of us seemed pretty hyped and satisfied with what went down. So I wonder if we can go around real quick, our general overview, how we thought, what our ratings were out of 10, just on the overall experience of playing the quest. So, Bran, if you want to give us your rating and quick thoughts.
Yeah, I said at the time, I am a sucker for recency bias. So I said at the time it was like a 9.5. I think looking back now, I'd probably say, I'd probably still say like a 9 or 9.5. The quest had, the thing that always gets me with WuWa story is the storytelling. And I'm a sucker, an absolute sucker for the WuWa storytelling. I think it is the best in the gacha space right now for the big four, I guess, big three. But the characters themselves having multiple sides and not just being very one-dimensional like usual was a breath of fresh air. There was a lot more why I like the story, but we'll get into it obviously as we go. That's the quick thoughts.
Yeah. Awesome. Legions, how do you feel?
I was around the same. I gave it a 9.5. The only thing I didn't like was FENRICO's boss fight. I thought that was super mid. Everything else was good. I think the fact that it was a story that finally had like stakes where there was actual consequences and somebody did die, quote unquote, maybe. We'll see. But I also like the fact that the music was incredible, the storytelling, the kind of like the way the community is like at each other's throats right now. That's how you know it was good, because there's 50-50 people Rover side, 50-50 people Frolova side, and there's just constant theory crafting about like now there's people thinking the Fracsidus caused the meteor to fall. It was an experiment the whole time. So there's like a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on with this patch, and I think it's probably one of the most enjoyable patches I've experienced since the game came out.
Awesome. Interesting that you mentioned the FENRICO fight. We could definitely talk about that as well.
Yeah.
See, oh my god, Mr. Braxophone. Hello.
Finally, it's 3v3, bro. Hurry up.
Yeah, we need another American.
Whose side am I on? Fuck.
Yeah, they wouldn't
Americans,
stop talking about. They wouldn't stop talking about teas and crumpets. We were trying to talk about the story.
Oh Jesus, I hate that shit, man.
It's a fake news. They were talking about gun violence the whole time.
Yeah, and school shootings.
Okay.
And school shootings, yeah.
That's classic. Yo, so how the fuck do you guys get your camera on stream and in this call at the same time?
We're going back to the start again.
Virtual camera.
Virtual camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
I just turned my shit off, and then I turned on the camera in Discord.
That's what I did too, yeah. Because I didn't want my chat to be on the screen in the Discord call.
Yeah.
That works too.
That's also valid.
All right.
Well, my
I guess
chat's gonna be in the Discord call, unfortunately, but I think I can figure it out.
Yeah, well, Brax has figured that out. I guess I'll give my thoughts. I think that this 2.5 story quest is one that's gotten better. Actually, it's gotten better with age. I think something that happens actually kind of frequently with gacha quests is that they'll seem good in the moment, and then after like a review or like I guess what Brad was doing, like the rating will actually lower now that there's not as much recency bias. But I think this quest is so multi-layered. There's so much discussion. I've seen like so many videos detailing and like the same theories I think that Legion saw. So much more additional like content has come out where people are like theory crafting and stuff that's only added more depth to it, more symbolism, and even more like potential paths for like future storytelling that I think has just elevated the quest even further. I think that the only reason why it's not like a 10 for me is that FENRICO felt rushed. And I was just like, wait, why is he like now purple and glowing? I feel like that part was just not, we didn't see enough of like the elevation of FENRICO into the boss. And that's the one dud I have for the patch.
It's funny you say that because I thought the same thing. And then like the fact that one period before that, like the praying and everything, that felt like so long, even though I was like into the lore of it. I was like, okay, come on, like we get it, move along. And then we get there and I was like, okay, maybe we moved a little bit too fast. It's like went from slow to like super speed.
Why is he so much in hands, bro?
Yeah.
The order thing, I felt like, they were hyping up the order to be like, oh, this is really sus. Like, this is really, really weird. Like, we shouldn't trust these guys. And FENRICO, we know something's up with him, but we don't know exactly what's up with him. And then the time actually comes and it's like, oh, yeah, so now you just got to fucking kill this guy right now. Like, actually, it felt like the only buildup was the little tidbits we had from like 2.0, 2.1. And then we kind of just teleported to FENRICO end.
Yeah, I kind of see that because especially with FENRICO kind of being revealed that he's being controlled as well, how that ties into 2.4. I feel like while they made it obvious at the end, they could have everyone says, built up to that a little bit more. Like, of course, they gave hints throughout this quest, tiny hints. I felt like that should have been like more of a bigger thing. So I think that's like a universal like critique that everyone's having about FENRICO.
One of my chatters said it perfectly. I think it felt like a Phrolova quest with a 5% FENRICO tide at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty fair analysis.
Yeah. All right, Kyan, how do you feel about overall?
Well, I feel like I have probably the most negative reaction, I guess, to the quest or the story in general. I think, in retrospect, as I've had more time to think about it, the actual quest itself, by gacha standards, is not bad. By regular storytelling standards, I don't think it's that good. But we're in the gacha space. You get like kind of a limited amount of time, so to speak, to kind of do the actual storytelling. For example, like you just said, the FENRICO part was kind of,
it's only a 3
little bit
hour
rushed,
quest.
especially for exactly. It's only 3 hours, so I don't want to beat on it too badly. My main gripes with the quest come with the characters, both Rover and Phrolova. I think that everyone's wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
Both of them are wrong.
I think both of them are wrong. I think when people talk about Rover's side, it's like we don't really know, I guess, the reason why he or she wasn't like didn't return, because obviously, or like when or how many times he's had to reset. So like I can't really speak on that in that sense. But on Phrolova's part, I think she's a fucking bitch. I'm not gonna lie. I think she needs to grow a pair of nuts. And so does Rover too, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. That guy was a bit unempathetic, to be honest. But I think everyone's fucking kind of sucking off Phrolova because everyone fucking loves the character for whatever reason, because everyone's self-insert.
Okay,
can I mention?
Sorry, I was gonna crash out again. I apologize.
Shout, do it. Be entertaining.
No, I think the discourse that I've seen online is people kind of defending Phrolova and like her having multiple layers and her being a nuanced character. I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. I think if it is nuanced, I think it's pretty shallow. In the sense of like, yeah, her backstory was pretty, it was a bit sad. But like, if I was dumped, if my family died, for example, in real life, and I was dumped by my girlfriend, and then I went and shot up a school, I don't think people are going to be like, oh yeah, but my backstory. Like, it's like, okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
Okay.
I'm happy. Sorry. I'm happy that I'm sorry for you, I guess, but like, that doesn't justify what you did, and you're still a bitch. I don't like the character in general. I think her design's shit too. Sorry.
Okay, we gotta
Sorry. Oh,
Bro's about to get a fucking Google Doc, bro.
Yeah, that's okay.
Google Doc me, I dare you.
That's
Google
okay.
Doc
It's
me.
been like
Please,
10
it makes
minutes.
me
It's
erect.
been like 10 minutes. That's like, bro, going a little bit too hard.
I'll carry on later. Sorry.
Okay. That was okay. Wow. Okay. Crazy. So, it's safe to say that you think both of them are kind of wrong, and you're not really a huge fan of Phrolova. Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I kick
Okay.
shit too. Sorry.
Okay. Brilliant.
I apologize.
I think a good question to ask the general scope is: do you guys think Phrolova had any kind of redemption, or do you think that she is a villain? How do you guys feel about that? No.
I think she's a villain.
Yeah, she's a villain.
I don't need it to be. I don't want her to be like
Rex
to be redeemed.
Why is this motherfucker raising his hand?
Is it my turn? Wait, can I have the turn? So basically the thing is, I think that she is 100% a villain, but the way that they like tried to get everyone to empathize with her was really fucking good.
Yes.
And I think that was my biggest concern, was like, I really fucking hope that she doesn't get amnesia and then decide to join your party. Right? Like, I swear to God, if that happens again, I'm gonna blow the fuck up. I just want a character to be bad, and then maybe like at least just let us understand why they're bad, and let's just fucking play them or whatever. And then the end of the story was also cinema. But yeah, I really like how they I really like what they did with her, because even though a lot of people will argue that like that's not enough justification for her to become a villain. I think that one, human emotions are like pretty fucking complex, right? Like people have done worse for less, and on top of that, I mean, it's a thing that a lot of people can empathize with, like losing someone close to them and feeling like very isolated. So I think a lot of people, especially gacha players who are fatherless, can relate to that, right? So I don't know. I think it was pretty well written, and I think that her remaining a villain is good.
I'm sorry, did you just drop a line about fatherless gacha players?
Fatherless gacha players.
Dude, it gotta be at least 60% of Chad.
100,000,000%.
Bro,
We spend money on pixels. That is definitely fatherless behavior.
Fatherless and waifuless. You know?
And
I felt like
probably
I was
motherless
the one,
too.
Oh
I
my
felt like
God.
I was the one that would say something spicy and derail the call for like a couple of minutes, but I didn't even need to do that today.
We're still early on. That could still happen.
Yeah, it'll happen later.
I do have a kind of a counterpoint to what was just mentioned about her being like people being able to empathize with her. I'm so honest. I don't know how people can empathize with her. I'm not gonna lie.
because she's hot. It's fine. It's pretty. It's
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Kind of mid. I'm kind of mid.
I think it's because the way she was before, the way she is now, was complete opposite.
But when
she
you
was a
make her
victim to circumstance. You know what I'm saying?
When you make her do all of that stuff, when you put in the story about how she's just killing people with like she's summoning tacit discourse and she's doing human
she's doing that for the
experiments and whatnot.
Fracsidus. Like, remember, they're saying that she's using them and they're using her, so she has to do what they want so she can get what she wants from them. So I don't think she wanted to like mass murder people. She just wanted to find a way to get her family back.
But okay, well then we get to that. We get to that. Sorry, we get to that. What would you do in Nazi Germany type debate? Right?
Man, I already told my chat I would turn into Hitler if it was to bring my family.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even if that is the case, even if she was using, even if it's like a double-sided using of each other, I don't know how you can say, yeah, but I killed them because I was using them. Like, what are we talking about? What are we actually talking about here? Like,
no, you killed them because it didn't matter what they did.
Yeah,
it's not relevant.
She threw away her humanity already at that point after hundreds of years of suffering. She was just like,
then I can't empathize with that because like it's like saying, sorry, we're going. There's a lot of Nazi talk here, but like it's like saying, I know someone said it online. They were like, okay, but like Hitler had a pretty sad backstory as well. Do you empathize with him? No.
Okay,
so why would I don't
think.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's also, you got to remember the difference between sympathy and empathy as well, though, right? Like you can feel empathy without agreeing with the situation in general. I feel like
that's my take on it too.
It's like empathy. Sympathy is if somebody's drowning in quicksand, sympathy is jumping in and drowning with them, metaphorically. Empathy is throwing them a rope, right? It's like you can empathize without necessarily agreeing, at least in my opinion.
I do agree.
It's about like how far would you go for the people you care about most? That's really the overall feeling. And that's, you know, we've seen loads of stories like that. So we don't have to agree with her actions or what she did, but we could be like, damn, like I would do anything for the people that I love, right? That's really why a lot of people care. And especially because it's what you see in the moment. It's what the quest gives you. And you see her backstory. It's in a way, it's at some point, it's hard not to empathize with her, considering the story that they're showing you in the moment, right? So that's why a lot of people feel a certain way.
All right, I've got my take on it. And I think
he hasn't even spoken yet.
Here we go. Here's the Nazi take now.
It's pretty simple. I'll make sure not to bring any real world countries into this one. I think Phrolova's brain damaged.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think that's made. I don't think she's mentally well because she got hit by a meteor, died, and is like half alive. Right? She's like half TD, half human. And so I honestly just don't think that her brain is like fully will ever, or like, I just think she has like a different way of thinking. And that led to her, let's just be honest, obsession with Rover. It's not like normal or reasonable at all for a person to meet one person one time and then just be like, oh, they were the destined one. I resonated with them so much after this one conversation that now my entire life is tied around them visiting me again. That's just not like normal, right? That's just not like a very sane thing, a very sound bit of logic. And when you understand that that's what she's doing, she's just not sane of mind, right? And so naturally she's in like a vulnerable position. That's where Fracsidus comes in, convinces her that like, hey, we can get you what you need because you're not getting it from that other guy. And then she just went down this wild path, right? And so I think like the sympathy kind of comes in from, or the sympathy or the empathy, right? If somebody is like mentally ill and then does something bad, right? You can feel empathy for them for being ill and doing the bad thing, but you can also say that what they did is fucking bad, right? If somebody like, okay, I mean, obviously we're getting into some grisly examples, right? But I'll just bring up like fucking, y'all know who Chris Benoit is, right? The guy who got massive amounts of CTE and popped off his entire family.
Yep.
Tons of empathy in that situation.
He's a WWE wrestler.
Okay.
And then he got himself afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, too many concussions. Murked his entire family, right? I feel empathy for that situation, but I can also say, yeah, this was obviously unforgivable shit that should never happen. But I can see why anyone would feel bad for him doing that. Because a lot of it outside of his control, blah, blah, blah. Some of it in. But that's where the empathy, I think, for Phrolova comes from in this entire situation, is that you know she's not sound of mind. You know that she had like a better and overall, I would say, good purpose. But as they always say, right, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's why that phrase is so common. The most evil people in history are typically have a good overall reason for why they're doing things, then they get twisted along the way, and that's literally what happened with Phrolova.
Yeah.
I like that you mentioned, you know, she's not like mentally sound. I kind of thought about it when I was playing through her story. It is a whole story around someone suffering from the most extreme bout of like survivor's guilt, right? The survivor's guilt that just changes her scope on what she deems to be good and going down that route. So no, that's a really good thing to talk about, is what she's actually going through. 100%.
Oh,
Absolutely. Survivor's guilt, PTSD.
Yeah, one thing from the 2.5 story that I think a lot of people might not realize until a rewatch is the story's told in a very one-sided way. You get all of Phrolova's point of view the entire time. You actually don't really get a lot of Rover's point of view at all. You don't get any of their internal monologue, their thought process. You get a little bit when you're in her world, but it's still mostly about her. You only get like their reactions and the things that they say, and not necessarily the reasons why they say it. So I do think that there's a second half to this story, like what Rover is thinking across the entire quest, because this is essentially Phrolova's point of view.
Do you think that's intentional?
Phrolova is kind of the protagonist of the quest.
Do you think that's intentional in order for the audience that's playing the quest to be skeptical of Rover? And that's why people are talking about it in that way.
I think they're setting up for something like entirely that a lot of people aren't talking about. I think I talked about it with you a little bit on your Twitter post. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if you remember in 1.3 with Shorekeeper and then even 1.4 with Camilla, there was always something that triggered something like Rover to remember the person, even just remotely, vaguely. He played the keyboard, the piano. He remembered Shorekeeper teaching her how to play. Camilla, he could remember vaguely, like being her mentor. With Phrolova, he had none of that. Like he can't even. He's like, was I really at this concert? No, I couldn't have. I don't even think that was Rover that she met. I think that was the Grand Architect. Because there's the rumor going around that possibly Rover created the Fracsidus in a past life, and then maybe this Grand Architect person took over. So he obviously has this ability to appear as other people, like you saw with Triss. So who's to say that person that she met wasn't Rover, and they were manipulating her the entire time to join the Fracsidus? Because there's that all like the theory of the meteor had like that cross, the same symbol that's in the Fracsidus, that maybe they'd caused that meteor to fall in this random isolated village as an experiment to see if there was going to be any kind of like person of immortality born, because that's what they're after. So
I'm sorry,
you know,
somebody just wrote in my chat as Legions was talking, that retard can shapeshift.
Yes.
The Grand Architect can shapeshift, and I that's like a theory that I've been very like partial to too. The fact that what is it that the Fracsidus are really after? Why are they wanting to awaken all the Thenodians? They're wanting to gain their powers. They're wanting to use them for themselves. And what happens when you get all of them? Like the bloody like Infinity Stones, right? Like what happens? Like what does the Grand Architect make? What does he create? Like that's what. It's the
I don't
question.
remember if it was very specifically stated, but I think at one point it was stated that they're after immortality. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. Maybe chat can say something, but I think there was some quest where they said that somewhere.
100%.
Was it the truth of the world, immortality, or saving the world? It was like one of those three.
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
I don't think they were after specifically saving the world. I think they were after saving themselves.
Yeah, which is
the immortality thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their way of reaching immortality is fusing with TDs. That's why half the Fracsidus guys look like all.
Yeah.
They got like. They're all fucked up. They have like arms coming out of their back and shit.
Oh, fair.
I think they the whole contrast with Rover, or like them trying to make Rover look like not a great guy, is kind of an interesting thing though, because usually, well, what we see out of like a lot of the more popular gacha games that have come out over the past few years is like, oh my god, you're just like, you're him, right? Like you do everything, you save everyone all the time, right? And so I think it would be really interesting if the reason Rover is looping, which it seems like this is it, is because Rover is imperfect and unable to do what he needs to do, and so you kind of do this like looper amnesia thing, whatever it is, because it hasn't been fully explained yet. And this whole thing, I feel like what they're going to do is starting with this story and kind of going on, they're going to reveal the imperfections and like the flaws of Rover over time. And it's going to be like this kind of like, oh, we're building the backstory about how you fucked up. And then with that information and with the new choices you've made, maybe you can change fate or whatever. I don't know. I just think it is a pretty cool thing. I haven't seen a lot of games do that.
Do we know how far back the meeting between Phrolova and Rover
It's like
was
200 years or something like that.
It was actually I don't think the time was ever.
I don't think it was it?
I think it was left vague on purpose.
Yeah, it was very vague. The only like kind of hint we got was Triss at one point said that she's been dead for 200 years.
Yeah.
So it has to be between that and like maybe 20 years ago.
My thought process is, you know how you mentioned before that he could remember Camellia and he could remember Shorekeeper by like a little note. I wonder if the reason why he couldn't remember Phrolova was because he had reset multiple times. So like when he had met Camellia and Shorekeeper before, it may have been like maybe one reset, because you spoke about how like he keeps looping because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. So maybe he resets himself to maybe to see if he can relearn certain aspects differently, whatever he needs to do. And I'm wondering whether he met Phrolova kind of right at the beginning of that, reset himself, never met her again. Obviously met Camellia, met Shorekeeper, then reset again, so that the most recent memory that he could retrieve was with Camellia and Shorekeeper rather than Phrolova, because it was that far back.
But I think if I remember correctly, Shorekeeper is like millions of years old, and so is Rover. So he remembered her, and she's like a million years old.
Yeah.
I know.
Also, I don't know how you guys felt about the whole hypocrite thing. I don't know if you guys were on the same page, because I know me and Gotcha Smack called, and I think Saint watched Gotcha Smack's video on the whole calling a Rover a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I actually just remembered the other day, because my chat, I literally went searching for this because my chat was like, he's not a hypocrite. He literally did nothing wrong. He's resetting to save the world. There was a time when he helped create the Tethys system in 1.3. That system was taking the frequency, which the game is telling us the frequencies are like the souls of the dead, and it's making them relive a simulation of the fucking lament over and over again. Is that not fucked up? So that's why I was like, how can you say Rover is like free of anything? They're like, oh, but you don't know what he did in the past. Well, we know he did that, and if he did that, he might have done worse even. You know what I'm saying?
You think about it that way, I think Phrolova's more or less doing the same thing. Yeah.
You know,
that's why
I called her
I guess it kind of lends. Oh, sorry, Brax.
No, I just fucked up Sung Jin Woo. That's all.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were still going. My bad. I didn't want to go ahead. I was gonna say it kind of. I think Legions, you bring up a really interesting example, right? Because Tethys is making the people in the port city of Guizhou, right, relive the end of their city. Like we literally got to see it blow up in real time during the one. That was actually one of my favorite parts of the 1.3 quest, like you running up the skyscraper as it's like falling apart.
That was awesome.
That's what Tethys is spamming on repeat, right? And all those people are like real. Those are like their actual frequencies that are re-experiencing all of it. So Rover, right, initially crafted that system, and I think the point of it of at least our playthrough, right, is to go in and kind of like almost right some of those wrongs. And so we're going in and we're doing everything right. That's why we save Shorekeeper. It's because she's just keeping Tethys going the way that it is, where it's making people relive fucked up stuff, and then we find like some other way to approach it differently, right? And then Phrolova's been doing the same things, that the fucked up ways that she's been doing them with Fracsidus, and now she's somewhere else, still kind of doing her own stuff, but it's in a better way. And so that's kind of just what it seems like, at least in our playthrough, is we're, in a lot of ways, we're righting some of the wrongs that have been done, even in like fucking rinascita, right? Why is there even trouble? It's because Imperator was stupid as fuck. Let's just be honest.
Can we talk about how fucking useless he was, bro?
Oh my God. So, if anything, the rinascita arc is Rover righting the wrong of whatever the fuck they were doing when they cooked up Imperator. They fucked up with that Sentinel. Or maybe they'll be redeemed later on. I think they just fucked up while they were making them. Juwei's like fine. No big deal with Juwei. Do not do it again. Do not use Imperator as like the format to make a new Sentinel.
Like, bro, isn't Imperator's powers to like split time and space?
Yeah.
Like, bro, how How the fuck did he lose to the
Yeah,
let me fuse with him instead of trying to kill him. So stupid.
It makes no sense, but no, there's definitely like this like ambiguity between all characters, and this seems to be the part. Rover's like resetting himself to do the path of the least pain. It seems like he's trying to do this in the way where everybody is like having to suffer the least. At least that's what it seems. In order to get to his end goal. Do you guys think that Rover is like currently justified in his actions against Phrolova?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
I think it only makes sense with the information that we've been given so far. Considering, like people have said already, we don't know everything about Rover and the reason why he's doing pretty much anything already at this point. I think it was totally justified. Like all the information that he had on Phrolova and the Fracsidus in general, and the experiences that he's had in this cycle, all lead to that she's doing fucked up shit for fucked up reasons. Even after learning a little bit of the backstory and the truth, again, he might be able to empathize with it, even though he didn't seem like he did, which I think is what most people have a problem with Rover in this quest. It's not that he doesn't like Phrolova and did what he did. It's that he doesn't seem to try to understand why she's doing it.
Right.
But I think he's completely in his right to do what he did.
But I think even if he did understand why she was doing it, I still think that gives him. I don't think that's enough of a reason to justify him not doing it. I'm not gonna lie. I think
he should do it. He should do it.
Yeah, regardless of what. Yeah, I think regardless he
I got a crazy lore reveal for you guys.
Fun.
It's two things. One, Rover didn't actually try to kill Phrolova, and B, Phrolova wanted to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
So
I said that the other day too.
One of the pivotal lines in the quest is Phrolova saying, right like before her death sequence, all she needs is a sharpened blade. And I think she says something about like the Rover being able to provide it. And when you slow down and review the cutscene of Rover throwing their sword at Phrolova, which is what kills her, right, and puts her into the water, Rover's sword is directly aimed at the gem. That she's holding like right here, and then right before his sword is about to hit the gem, she throws it out to Fracsidus.
Yep.
And then the sword pierces her instead of hitting the gem.
She set bro up. That's insane.
Yeah. She
exactly right.
Rover gave her what she wanted at the end.
Yeah.
And so
even unintentionally.
Yeah.
She wanted sword.
She wanted to die, and Rover wasn't trying to kill her. So I actually find it really interesting, right, that the discussion of is Rover justified is even happening in the first place. Because when we take all those facts of the story, it's not even like they were there's nothing to really justify, because that's not what they were trying to do. It's just what happened, and everything that Phrolova wanted to happen actually happened. Yep. And so even the L Rover at a baseline is that's what I was saying since day one of this quest. Since the patch dropped, L Rover made no sense at all to me, because what Phrolova wanted to happen, everything she wanted actually happened.
Yep. That's exactly was my train of thought as well. When I went out to see, everyone was saying, "Oh, Al Rover sucks. Why did he have to quote unquote kill her when he didn't really?" It's but she said so many times that she even wanted to die. She wanted to be in this space. So I never really understood. I think people just got upset because, why would he do that to her? Why would he do that to her? And it's it doesn't kind of matter if he did or didn't want to. It's what kind of she wanted anyway. So that always kind of confused me as well, why people always decided that Rover was the bad guy. I never really got that.
I call them all simps. Just they're full of simps.
Yeah.
Yep. I do think they killed her. They're mad.
Sorry. I do think what Saint just said kind of makes sense about her wanting to die, and it does kind of fit in with her her story as well. With her being even when they did meet, it was the promise was, when your performance, when your work is complete, I will come back and see it, and I will be there. And if in her mind, if she's done all she can in regards to her experiments and bringing back her family or whatever, in her story, in her mind, she's kind of finished that in her head, then technically he hasn't really broken the promise, even if it's not a
they had their final crescendo.
An intentional one. They had that final crescendo because she had achieved what she wanted to achieve in her quote unquote performance, and he was there and he was the one to end it. So technically, it does kind of kind of put a little bow in it if you think about it like that. But yeah, that's what kind of what I thought about it.
I even think the end of like Phrolova's story here is actually like more tragic than people think. Did you guys go and talk to the NPCs in like the afterlife after the quest?
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. There was one guy called Pia who is standing
By
at
the
the
dot?
pier. Yeah, at the dot, at the actual pier itself. And if you talk to him, it feels Phrolova, we say that Phrolova got what she wanted, but it's kind of a half truth even then, because he goes on to say that, oh, Phrolova's here, she's still going to save us, she said she's still gonna save us, we're gonna get out of here like sometime soon. And then that's when my heart like actually kind of sunk. I was like, oh, she's still lying to them even now. She still believes they're gonna get out of here, and it's like, damn, okay.
This is the thing. Oh, Brad, I feel like you're about to talk about the same thing.
You can go ahead.
Hey, I was going to talk about why Phrolova wanted the gem and the significance of the gem, and kind of like why she gave the gem to Fracsidus. So the last piece that Phrolova needs to finish her realm and like actually fully save everybody there is that teardrop from Leviathan. It's strictly Leviathan's special powers. That's why she's looking for that one in particular. And my prediction is that Phrolova intentionally gave it to Fracsidus, knowing it's going to save her world, because she doesn't want the Fracsidus heat right now. Because if she takes it there, they're going to try to fucking blow up her shit and take it back, right? That's like 100%. That would be a betrayal. But if Rover deals with the situation, guys, what are we going to do with that gem? There's nothing we can probably reasonably do with it. Maybe if the Black Shores gets it, they'll probably use it for something. But I think the gem is going to find its way back to Phrolova and finish up her realm beyond. And that's how, and this is like super prediction, that's how dead characters in the lore will probably get reintroduced back into the story. That's where we're gonna get the Geshu Lins. That's where we're gonna get all of that.
It's like,
that's where we're gonna get the cop outs where no characters are actually dead.
I hate that.
Can you shut the fuck up and stop giving them ideas, Saint? Jesus
That's
fucking
One
Christ.
Piece type. No, that's One Piece type shit. I hate that shit. Just let it. Just have her dead. I'm begging you. Like, just let her dead. Anyone that. Just let her be dead. Anyone
the
online saying, "Oh, she's not dead,"
but she isn't dead. This is
the thing, guys. Has anyone played Honkai Impact 3rd and the Elysian Realm? Right?
Yep.
Not the
Elysian Realm is what I think Phrolova's going to make. She's going to make like a version of it. And the thing is, all those characters are dead. They're all playable too. And their deaths are still emotional, because you get to like re-experience them, do all of that, whatever. Well, probably not the re-experiencing part, but you get to like see like what their characterization was. And that to me is like the number, like that's how I think we're getting Scar playable. I think Scar is going to die, and then he's going to show up in like Phrolova's realm, right? And then that's how it'll be playable. I think this is how you can make sure people stay villains until the end. Because one thing about Phrolova's realm, right, is that nobody there is like toxic. Everyone is in like a good mood. I feel like Phrolova, when she like captures souls and takes them wherever, she only takes like their good qualities, right? She doesn't take like any of like the aggressive parts or the negative frequencies, all of that. And maybe that means that there's a lore reason why we'll get only like the good parts of the evil characters.
Well, the negative frequencies are associated with laments, right?
Yeah. But this like the TDs though, like TDs spawn just from like negative feelings in like an area. Like TDs just spawn. But then the souls in Phrolova's area are TDs, but they're not made out of negative frequencies. So it's kind of
you guys know how she summons like echoes and stuff? Because it's exactly what Saint's talking about. It's basically like she has all the negative frequencies of everyone that's like she's basically trapped, and then she like summons them with that. Right. So that's like basically by removing that, you can create like whatever kind of utopia you want, but also by using it, you can create power. Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I don't know if you still have more to say.
Sorry, that was just like fucking theory crafting, like future lore. I think that's like stuff like this is why I'm saying that like 2.5 only gets better the more you like absorb of it, the more you keep, consuming content about it. Because now a lot of like the previous story path. Like I feel like people are a lot more optimistic about the characterization of pretty much everybody moving forward. Like, oh, Scar does not need to be right like a goody two shoes anymore. Geshu Lin can still be a full on fucking villain, right?
I hope he is.
Like there's limitless, there's almost like limitless potential now. Now they've got like the fucking playable boss as the character.
I think
going on.
Like what you were saying before as well of Phrolova's realm and the future and how it all plays in together and how villains can go to the end. I think Phrolova's realm or Sonoris for existing is kind of proof that the Fracsidus is gonna win in some kind of essence, right? Because if they gain that immortality, Phrolova's won. Her people live, right? That's the end goal. So that's kind of what I feel, that realm existing and the people waiting to be redeemed and return is kind of like the Fracsidus might get there at some point. And why she's okay with the gem still being with the Fracsidus and she doesn't need it for herself, because at the end of the day that goal is still going to be achieved for her. So
she knew that dying. That's why she was like, it's okay, like I can just go be with them until it's carried out.
I guess for me is
oh my bad, go ahead.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like Phrolova is especially tied to Fracsidus. I think that she'll just switch sides on a fucking whim to whoever gives her the gem.
Yeah.
And she's just basically, by giving it to Cristoforo, she's just like, you guys duke it out, and then I'll talk to the winner. That's kind of what it feels like.
She just wants the immortality for her people. Right, that's all it is. Whatever will give her that is what she'll go with.
Oh, but then if that happens, we're gonna have the Rover Phrolova fandom fucking jacking off to their fucking self-insert, and I want to kill myself in game.
I feel like at this point, because people know so much about the characterization of her turning into like a better character because Rover gives her the gem, I think it would be so explained. It would make enough sense for people not to be like, oh my god, they just turning everybody good. I don't think that's the viewpoint most people are going to have if they actually absorb the story, but who knows?
I was gonna say the one thing I like the most too about this quest is we finally see Rover fail for once.
Yeah.
Because every patch since the game came out, he's succeeded in like thwarting the plans of the Fracsidus or somebody, and this is the first time he actually failed. Like they got the gem.
Well, that's true. Yeah. No, Fracsidus did actually take a W.
They took a W and then they went to a lab.
Rover. The entire story.
This is a question. Where do you think that? Because Abby mentioned that she got sucked into the portal, right? She got sucked into the portal with Cristoforo, and they ended up at a lab, assuming it's a Fracsidus lab somewhere with the gem. They're probably going to do some stuff with this gem. We might not even see the gem in its original form again. That's what I think. I don't know if we'll see it in that state. What do you think something might have happened to Abby while they were over there in the lab? Or do you think it's too much of a coincidence that she was fine, or he or she, whatever, came back and was totally fine?
I haven't given it much thought, actually.
Yeah, neither.
I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Abby, I kind of just don't care about what they're up to for the patch, because I always get it. It feels like it always gets revealed at the start of the next patch. What they were up to at the end of the quest. It's like in 2.0, we found out that they were the one that helped out with Tethys, right, at the end of 1.3, and that's why they were silent, right? And I feel like we're gonna get it answered in 2.6, whatever the fuck they were doing in that portal, because it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough like lore clues. Like it's like we weren't given much of a direction to do many predictions, but I'm happy to hear them.
It opens up the doors, is all I'm thinking. It opens up the doors, so something might have happened where they were over there with the Fracsidus.
I have a curious question. You guys remember the trailer from before Septimont came out, and we saw like I think the trailer was like backwards the way they played it, and you remember like the corruption from the Trinodian hitting the moon. Right? What do you guys even think? Because I have no idea. It's like the first time where I don't even know what to expect with Augusta and Yuno. Like, obviously, they kind of tease like Yuno is going to get corrupted in some way, and she's the one that like Augusta listens to. That's her advisor. She's like all knowing, right? She can predict stuff. I don't even know what they would even do to like try and destroy Septimon again or revive the Trinodian at this point.
I don't think they've placed enough in like at least the main quest or story for people
like
to
build up,
have a sense of what's going on. At least for the average player, right? And unless you're someone who's taking into every single clue, reading into everything. I don't know if the average like person who does these quests really know what's going to happen.
I think you can predict something along the lines of like mind control makes
Yeah.
a cancerous prediction and then proceeds to like nuke Septimon's economy or something.
You think it's
I
gonna be
don't
the
know,
same
like,
thing as
something
Mia
like that.
then? And Mia and, like,
And
Lupa,
Fenrico
like,
at that
getting
point,
corrupted?
manipulation. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, manipulate. It might be like whispers. I don't think it's gonna be like full on like, okay, you're doing this shit. I think it'll be like whispers that will like influence her in like a certain direction that will like cause downfall or inner turmoil. I feel like 2.4, oddly enough, is gonna be like a political sort of quest. Does that like make sense? Like it's gonna get into like the
Yeah, sure.
internal government and like all the different factions and stuff, and not be like as combat oriented.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
do
agree
you,
with
do you
that.
think the Fracsidus will also have a hand to play in it? I assume, or
I
not?
think they're
like
chilling for now. I have a
feel like
feeling
they'll
they're
take a
chilling.
back seat.
Yeah.
I personally have seen enough of Fracsidus for
while, yeah.
Oh,
an
wow.
update or
Yeah.
two. I'm not gonna lie. I could do a patch. I could do 42 days without seeing Cristoforo.
Yeah. I think they got what they wanted for right now, for what they need.
Chill
to,
on my
like,
goat, man.
progress.
Chill on my goat.
Oh my god.
And it's
Yeah,
either the Threnodian working on their own in this instance, or it's like you say, like some political interpersonal like stuff that's going on with Septimon or some other power.
Like
Because
House
didn't they say?
Silver and all
Because Fenrico said at the end of 2.5 that there is still a power in Septimon that Rover needs to go and deal with. He needs to stay where he is right now, and Rover needs to go to Septimon and fix whatever problem is like still lurking underneath. So there's something still there.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has to
I
do with
remember the
vibe.
Grand Architect made mention of like Augusta making her move, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
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 It's the last
it-
like vestige of Leviathan is in Septimon.
Yeah.
It would be a nice change of pace to have more of a self-contained like kind of story than have like more.
Well, I mean, we did already have that shit with like the Lupa quest, though. That was like the very first quest in Septimon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Fracsidus are involved, but like it's still mostly Septimon focused.
Yeah.
Is there
I feel like it was quite heavily Fracsidus focused, even though they weren't exactly playing like on the front lines in Lupa's quest necessarily. Like they were kind of the ones that orchestrated the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Especially with
Yeah,
the
yeah, I guess
scripts
it's
and
like-
you know.
I guess it's like going through it. You don't like even know that Fracsidus is involved at
True.
first glance, and it just feels like Septimon everywhere. Like, hey, gladiator, right? Like,
Yeah.
fearsome
Lupa's ass
warrior.
in your face.
That's fair. That's kind of what I'm personally hoping for. I totally agree. I think we've seen a lot of the Fracsidus lately, and like you said, especially Cristoforo. But in terms of the characters that have kind of made an appearance since 2.0, Cristoforo is like, for me, by far the most interesting out of everyone. The whole
100 million
idea of the stories and the books and his powers in general, what he can even do, what it all means. It's like there's just still so many questions that need to be answered
Yeah.
just on surface level before we even start diving deeper.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he's able to manipulate reality to such a huge extent already. Like, can you imagine what someone like the Grand Architect is able to do? Like the difference in power is kind of so overwhelming in a way. So we'll definitely. I think as Rover gets stronger as well, I think we'll come across stronger Fracsidus members at the same time.
I will say the one thing I want. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just a quick note. I really hope that at least either Cristofo or Scar. I hope one of them is completely irredeemable, and I mean completely irredeemable.
Well, I mean, I don't
feel
think
like Scar's
Cristoforo's
that.
ever going to be playable. So
Yeah,
No, probably
Yeah, but
not.
even then, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but he
like, he's just going to fucking die.
yeah.
I also think like this is kind of a side note. I don't want to distract us too much, but like learning that like Scar lost on purpose was like kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think that was more of a last patch thing, like towards the end, but like we kind of like confirm it this time because that means we're probably going to get another Scar fight in the future, and it's probably going to be like fucking crazy.
Probably gonna get our
And the
ass
fact that he-
beat.
Yeah, the fact that he blocked fucking Fleur Delice's blow like nothing. I was
Yes.
like, oh, okay, bro.
Yeah,
that was kind of
You guys gotta be cracked.
that was kind of a half.
They got
That's kind of a
way
half
too
effort
many-
blow there. Let's be honest. She
Yeah.
wasn't.
They
really,
got
she-
way
It was
too
kind of a
many
warning shot.
Yeah, they got way too many assets for Scar to him to not be playable. I mean,
Like
bro
an
literally
X-Zipper.
has his own forecast echo already. It's like it's literally
That's
fucking
true.
him, right? Like he's there.
yeah.
Yeah, he has his own ult too. They should have already have it down.
When
I don't know how you guys
people-
feel about this, but
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the one thing I have a complaint with Wuthering Waves, which I didn't really feel until maybe this patch, because it's been like 5 patches. I hope they don't continue to do the thing that a lot of Hoyo games do, is where they will focus on characters in a region and then they move on and then we don't fucking ever see them ever again. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, they popped up in an event 2 years later, man. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Literally, shut the fuck up.
I want to see Yang Yang, as much as Chishia is annoying, I want to see that group at least somehow involved, and the Black Shores.
Kill 'em, I go.
Like, bro, Black Shore is supposed to be like the most important, the people that counter Fracsidus, and where the fuck are they, bro? Like chilling
I feel
on
like
the island doing nothing.
The Black Shores is kind of supposed to be that, like a home base in a way that will go back to the Black Shores, and the people that we all kind of come across will end up going there too in some way. And like Buling's that symbol, right? That we're gonna go back to maybe Jinzhou, or back to there and see the old cast again. So I think it's there. They're definitely looking at it.
Yeah, part of Rover's...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna give some context for why Rover like kind of took on 2.5 solo. I think at the start of the quest, they like say that they don't want to get people involved because of like the potential danger
manipulation,
and so it's just like them trying to like solo tank everything. But I guess like in that vein, right, because of this failure, maybe that's why they're going to start teaming up more with people in the future, because they actually, I guess they failed their mission. They didn't get the tier.
Yeah, and there was that whole thing that Shorekeeper told him in 1.3. It was like, yeah, in your past life you never relied on your comrades, and you need to rely more on your comrades this time. And it seemed like he was doing that for a while, but now not so much anymore.
Yeah, good point. That is a good point. I was thinking, I do think, like, so far in the WuWa story, they have followed that same kind of pattern, right? Where typically the story, the banner character is the main character of the story, and then when the banner changes, there's a new character involved, and they're the focus, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then ever since we left the previous nation, we don't see those characters at all anymore. And as much as I would like to believe that would change, and you know, all the characters from the previous nations are going to come in, I just don't see it happening, bro. I don't.
I do see an actual Avengers Assemble moment though at the end of the 2.0 arc. It is 1000% happening. Like, I want to see like fucking Carlotta riding a sentry construct, just
that's like go.
Like, I want to see like Zani and Phoebe go like light up an entire quadrant of the continent.
Listen, I fucking hate ZZZ, but they did that one thing right in 1.4, the Miyabi patch.
Oh yeah,
I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, they're all the characters are actually working together in this like Avengers ass moment, you know. So I hope they do something like that.
As much as people shit on it back in the day, even for the final quest of WuWa's 1.x cycle, with the war, the characters, even I gave it praise back then, saying it was the first time in a gacha game I've actually seen it where a war feels like a fucking war. Like the playable characters are all around you, and like you go a step further, and then new playable characters come in.
But this time we'll care about the characters more.
And this time it'll be much more well done too.
The guy with the top hat, what's his name, bro? We never even met him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here, bro."
Yan Wu.
Yeah, that motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
I guess the thing is that they're setting up for it with Septimont. My prediction is that 2.6, 2.7, the Dark Tide actually does end up spreading, and it goes to like the entire city. And that's when the Avengers Assemble moment kind of happens. Because for certain, I think Cartithia is going to come over with the Black Shores members. They're going to come in that way. And then you're going to have everybody from Raguna come in. And then, like, obviously, right, all the Septimon people will still actually be in the city. But yeah, with the order done and dealt with, there's no reason for Raguna to be in, like, to kind of like be the setting stage for that. It's also like too small. But just imagine, like, have you guys played Dragon Age Origins?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, I have.
The final battle in Dragon Age Origins has you basically walking across the entire city, dealing with like battle after battle, retaking all the zones, and then you fight at the very top. Isn't Septimont laid out in a way where it almost seems like you're supposed to take control of all of the old zones and then have a final battle at the very peak?
Yeah, that's actually funny that you say that. It is definitely going through that way.
I think the final quest of Septimont is going to play exactly like the final quest from like Dragon Age.
You know,
like,
it would fit the theme so well too,
scripted.
Considering it's like gladiators. Because I said multiple times, I'm like, because there was a moment in 2.4, I think, where they talked about like bringing in people secretly, and I'm like, wow, this is like some like Troy shit with the Trojan horse and everything. That would be so awesome if they like did something like that, where they did some kind of Trojan horse thing. Obviously, it's a Roman inspired area, and then it just have like gladiators fighting everywhere to the death. Like that would be awesome.
Definitely with
They
the
actually
like,
tested
as well. Like that's gonna be a major thing.
Wait, the Septimont city is next to the sea, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's where Brant and the fucking
That's
Fool's
Brant
Troop
comes
ship
in.
will come in.
Yeah.
Bro, that would
Okay,
be
so
hype.
there's literally there's an
That was
angle
Christopher
for
the entire time.
there's an angle for everybody to be in that fucking fight.
That's
Literally
true.
everybody.
I need
You know,
Gian back, man.
I think
I need a
were-
Gian Looper interaction. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I need.
They
in
were
my life.
testing Lupa mechanics, like the entirety of the Lupa story, or like not Lupa mechanics, sorry, like party member but not playable mechanics. You know what I mean? Because like Lupa's just off doing her own shit during every battle. Her icon looks different, and she's like just completely taking on every single enemy. I feel like that's gonna be like a thing too. They're gonna bring in a shit ton of characters. They're all gonna be party members, but we're not gonna play them. They're just gonna be on field like
100%.
whooping ass.
I also
and it's
feel
gonna be
like-
so sick.
The event that we had, you know, when it was like zoned in Septimont, where you had to go and fight in different like
Banners
places
never
in
fall.
Septimont. Yeah, like that
Yeah,
kind of leads into
that
that
was a
too.
fun
Like
fucking
it's
event.
they already have like the zones. Like it's there.
I if that doesn't happen, now I'm just gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
But there's I was thinking about it. Why would they make the city so fucking big?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive.
massive.
It is
Wings.
it's probably the biggest,
And it has an underground.
the biggest
It's
city
right.
I've seen in a gacha game.
Yeah, it has
and
underground
surely
too, yeah.
surely it's not just so that it looks cool while you're flying on top and looking at it. There's no way they put in all that work just so it was just like a visual spectacle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You mean the actual current playable area?
Yeah, like the city of Septimont right now, it's so
Yeah.
massive with so many subzones, and like so much of it is like kind of
Like
unused
three
right
times bigger than Rinascita, I think. Two or three times
now. At
bigger.
least city-wise,
The
yeah.
city is, yeah.
The city. Yeah.
And vertically, I think it's like the tallest city in the game.
But do you feel like, just to play devil's advocate, because I actually agree with what you're saying, but I always like to think of other possibilities. Do you feel like that could just be because of the quality of life of flying and making it feel even better by making it so big and vertical?
I think
could
that
be
there's
true.
definitely potential there, but to me, there's just there's not enough in the city for it to like make that much sense, because obviously, right, it's a lot of like development time that they're putting into like, you know,
True.
code all of this, add all the barriers, define what's a wall and what's not. And to me, I've been of the opinion that Septimont feels oddly empty for how much you can traverse in it. Like if you know like the bottom right part of the Septimont map, you could just like fly and literally not see anything for like maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And I've been saying that like that's a bit of like a miss for me, at least geographically. But if it's for like this sort of payoff at the end of the day, it would make a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, fair point.
Every zone that isn't the city of Septimont right now, it kind of feels very barren for the sake of like just having mobs there, or to have like 1 or 2 like side quests rather than be intrinsically involved. It really feels like the city itself is where everything is taking place. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Fontaine and Genshin, right? With that story where everything was held really kind of in the main city. It kind of feels also happening with Septimont, where everything is kind of happening there. Or am I
Wait, which one? Which quest?
like the general like
do you just mean the
MSQ
Alcon quest in
of like
general?
Fontaine? Like I feel like a lot of it was held in the city itself.
Talk about the 4.1 Fortress of Millipedes.
No,
God.
like I guess like ignoring like the prison, like either like 4.2, or like even 4.0.
Basically, the entire Archon quest just taking part in the main city instead of on outskirts and different sub-regions. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
I know.
That's fair. Yeah, you didn't really like, it was just all world quest for Fontaine's exploration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
I was just thinking about the main
Yeah,
quest.
because Natlan's like completely different, right? Like the Archon quests take part in different regions of where the tribes are located, so it's all separate parts. Yeah, I'd say Septimont is very similar to Fontaine in that case for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about in regards to Phrolova? Because I kind of feel like we've ignored one part, which is the Order. The Order is a huge, has been a huge part of rinascita. And it's all in kind of a shambles right now, given FENRICO's redemption. Do you guys think FENRICO had a redemption? Do you think he was?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was manipulated. That wasn't
Yeah.
actually him. He was.
I don't think he needed a redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you literally saw bro with like an actual like tumor
Yeah.
on his face,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it got removed after the fight, and he's like, okay, now I'm not
Sorry.
mad anymore. I promise.
Oopsie.
I'm telling the truth. And the thing is,
I will repent.
FENRICO actually never lied, right? I know people are referencing like his speech at the end of the 1.x quest. He never actually lied a single time to the player, but it's just, it was so convoluted at that point that everyone thought he was. And, you know, now you just find out bro's getting whispered to for the greater half of a fucking decade at this point.
So do you think with now FENRICO, you know, kind of quote unquote essentially being out of commission, dead, gone,
He's
not really, but dead, he's doing his own thing, trying to save the area that he's in. What do you think is going to happen to the role of the Primus? Do you think we're going to get Primus PEEB?
Phoebe. Imagine. Phoebe becomes the Primus. Oh my god, they'd be so fucked.
Primus PEEB.
I don't think if Phoebe was spoiled as the Primus in the Cube event, that'd be crazy. I don't think she's gonna be it. Is she? I think she's a little bit too goofy.
Do you think they need a Primus?
it'd be so
Like,
funny, though.
who is going to rise in the ranks of the Order? Do you think the Order itself is going to crumble and reform? Because Faith is so intrinsically tied into the whole rinascita story. Like, it's
wonder
why
if,
anything is happening. So what do we feel is going to happen?
I
with
wonder if the freaking you know, the Montelli family and the Facilia family would just say, fuck the church, let's just run it ourselves.
You reckon? Do you think the people would accept that?
No, that's what I was just gonna say. I think
I
even
don't
if they
think they
tried
would
to, people would not instantly just switch up.
I guess it depends, right? If the Facilias and the Montellis team up during the Avengers Assemble moment, then it's kind of like you can do almost anything at that point, right? I don't think they even dislike each other, right? Like at this point, Rover will be like their common bond because they're both not actually doing bad things.
Yeah,
the Order was actually the source of everything bad.
And I really
the Order
hope
was
they
the source
touch
of everything
on.
bad.
I really hope they touch on the whole thing where Carlotta was saying how she was in talks with the Facilia family. Obviously, they were talking about Cantarella. So like, we never got to see them interact, and I've been wanting to see that the entire time.
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
need
bro,
that shit.
we haven't seen these families interact with each other. They're supposed to hate each other.
That's the one thing that bothered me about 2.0, to be honest, was that we didn't get more family interactions. Yeah, 100%.
We need like a big roundtable mob boss meeting, bro. That'd be so cool.
There's actually been too much stuff happening in the story. Like 2.4, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to say this shit. 2.5, too busy too. 2.6, well, we got to go deal with something in Septima. So I feel like 2.7 is literally the only time that would like make sense for any sort of like wrap up for that.
That's if we don't even go back to Huang Long for a patch like people have been fucking theorizing.
I think we're going to you know what's crazy is I think what's going to happen is it's going to be very difficult for WuWa to like top the expectations that people have for the story now, or like continuously go up, right? Especially with such a climactic thing that just happened. And I feel like people are going to just be auto disappointed in whatever happens next.
Yeah, especially for a live action, live service.
They said that after 2.0. They said that after 2.2.
That's true.
They said that after 2.4. They say it after every update, and honestly, the updates have kind of just been getting better story-wise. Like they said, 2.0 was not going to be topped. 2.2 topped it. Then 2.4.
That just means when they do get let down, it will be even worse because it's
now we're just building it up to be even more disappointing.
But I feel like for storytelling, that's kind of what's necessary. Otherwise, you get pulled into a trap of like constantly wanting to outdo yourself, and then you end up making mistakes in the story. So I think at some point you do kind of need to kind of bring it, like ground it a little bit, kind of bring it back down, and then you can build up the momentum again, and then you can have another big event like we did in this patch, and then. But you know, gacha players, they want that instant injection of like of serotonin. Give me that shit into my veins immediately type shit. So I don't know like whether we will get that or not, but I feel like it is necessary. So I have faith in Kuro. Please, I'm begging.
WuWa needs.
Go
ahead, sorry.
I'll just. Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically, have you guys played FF16?
No.
Not yet.
No. Okay. Well, basically, I'm not going to spoil everything, but there's this one fight that happens where it's like so grand and insurmountable. It's so fucking. I'm talking about Bahamut, yeah.
Yeah.
That
I knew
the
it,
Bahamut fight, literally, there is no way they could have ever surpassed the Bahamut fight, and it's just like that's not the last fight of the game.
Finale, yeah, the finale didn't even come close to that fight, in my opinion. But
Yeah, and I'm like, high key, I think that might happen. Dude, we've had so many good patches, and like it happened in Final Fantasy 14 too. I feel like a lot of like the fantasy games where you have all the scaling and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, you legitimately cannot do more. And FF14, you fight God in despair at the edge of the universe.
Yep.
Like you are never going to beat that.
Yep, Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Then you go to the new expansion, and then everyone hates it.
Legions, you guys didn't even need to use an MMORPG to convey your point. All you had to do was talk about ZZZ. That game peaked story-wise in 1.4, and now in like 2.0, they like it's like
Didn't they
it's like
downgrade the game?
Yeah, it's
Didn't
like the I view it as like the Spider-Man effect, right? Where when it comes to like Spider-Man, a lot of the modern audience is kind of like thrown back by, oh wait, this is a guy that just deals with like thugs and like, you know, pickpockets and like basic thieves, like bank robbers. I just saw him go save the world in Infinity War, right? Like, wait, this doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
And right now in ZZZ, it's like you just like literally saved the world from like a corrupt, like one of the top corrupt officials in the only city left in the world, right? He just mutated into a fucking freak and was like about to destroy the entire city. You stopped him. And now you're dealing with like low-level cultists in like one sub-region of the world. And it's like, wait, the story, like with high schoolers, you were originally partnered up with like police officers, military specialists, professional, like con artists, all of that. Now you're working with high schoolers in a club.
Yeah.
It's like ZZZ is perfect example of it.
Yeah.
With
I
the
quit
story.
that game after 1.6.
It's like it's literally the Marvel effect, right? It's like it's what that series has always had a problem with. You go from fighting Thanos, right, and then you go back to have all these other, you know, lower grade threats or stakes, but now it's like, oh, now Galactus is here. You know, it's like you bring things down to kind of build it back up again to something even bigger than it was before, and it kind of, it doesn't mean the stories that you can tell that are less stakes aren't as good of a story though. I think that's the important thing. It doesn't mean that just because the stakes aren't as high doesn't mean it can't impact you in any sort of kind of way. There's a reason why, you know, stories without such big fights still resonate with people, you know? So I don't think it's really a problem, even if Kuro has to lower their stakes for a next patch.
I mean, to be honest, like Phrolova's story at a baseline doesn't do that much, right? Like for the average person in the WuWa world, Phrolova's story, whatever happened in 2.5, actually changes almost nothing. Like, yes, the order situation got resolved. I guess that's sort of like a big thing. But like outside of the order thing, the main focus of the quest for Phrolova's storyline is all about like dead people or like perhaps soon to be dead people. But for the average person, like think Chisha or your Yang Yang, nothing fucking changed at all for them.
Yeah.
I will say, too, while we've been like glazing the story and like we've been saying 2.2 was better, 2.4 was amazing, 2.5 was also amazing, I will say this is the first patch where I don't know how you guys feel, but like outside of the story, I don't give a fuck about, I'm not touching the game again until like 2.6 comes out. I don't give a fuck about
You're not doing your nightmare farm every day?
There's nothing else to do. Let's just kind of be honest.
We were talking about this the other day. There's fuck all to do. There's
that mini game event made me want to shoot myself in Minecraft. When I started for 5 minutes, I alt F4 again. I said, I'm not doing this. I'd rather spend money than get 1,200 gems in this event. Holy shit.
Spend money.
How do you go from the banner event and the fucking Babel Tower thing to what the fuck this is, bro? Like, holy shit.
I think they front loaded a lot of stuff in 2.4
the last
because of the anniversary.
They should have saved
so they
one
really
of them for
needed
this
to bring back the audience who kind of might have like dipped out, and now you know people are back in 2.5. People are around for the story,
and now they're leaving,
and they're chilling until 2.6.
Yeah, I feel like they needed another combat event in this patch. You know what would have saved this patch? And I think the devs are honestly a little fucking stupid for just not putting it in. Just put in the co-op hologram bosses again.
Yeah.
Just rerun the same
in the game.
Just rerun that event. Like just rerun that event. Put in the Kelpie and the Arsenosa shit.
Oh, God forbid the Kelpie. God forbid.
Just put those in. It's not that hard.
Oh, I just noticed we didn't get a hologram this patch either.
But we
Oh,
did
yeah.
get 2
Yeah,
and
we
2.4.
did it.
They could have did Lady. They
gave
could
us
have did
2,
Lady of
yeah.
the Sea or something as a hologram. Like what the fuck?
I want FENRICO hologram, and he just summons other holograms.
Oh, please no.
Bro,
Fucking
So he just
Okay,
summons
can we
other
talk about that
holograms, and
fight?
I
Can we
multiple
talk about how that fight sucked ass? Bro,
that fight was
FENRICO
so
fight,
ass.
it felt like a really shit MMO raid boss. Like, that's kind of how it felt. It was so bad.
You say it felt like a shit MMO raid boss. It felt like a tutorial MMO raid.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
did.
so bad.
That
Straight
boss,
cock and
that
balls,
boss
absolute
has
catch.
the worst mechanics I've ever seen, where the shield is the HP bar, and
Yeah.
like you can be halfway through your rotation, and then you'll break his shield and reduce his hitbox to nothing, and then like your Brandt's anchor is gonna drop down. It
and
was
not
about to
anymore.
hit,
Nothing.
but not anymore because you broke his stagger bar. It's like
fucking
this
stupid.
doesn't even make sense, bro.
It's so
like I
shit.
wish the shield was still up.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know
Oh,
why they
God.
did that. I don't know why. It doesn't look good either. It doesn't look good. It's not fun to play.
No, it
It's
looks
the
ass.
worst
It's
boss
so
they have
fucking
made.
The
in
music's
entire
fucking
game.
sick though.
Yeah, the
music
music
is
Very good.
The
Porsche-
that's
the
the
Porsche has
only thing that
arrived.
made the
My
song go.
Porsche arrived.
It's like
Oh, I
Porsche
can't unhear it
arrived.
now.
All right.
So good. Is
Brax
there any-
cover win.
Huh?
Brax cover win.
Oh my god.
No, I'm good, man.
Speaking, is there
Is it-
anything else people want to bring up about the story itself or the patch? Because if not, we could probably talk about the discourse of how the Kuro community, a lot of people believe, has been acting out of line recently. Do we think
Yeah,
that
let's
is
talk about
actually?
drama.
Yeah. Do we think
I
that's
think I
actually the
spend more
case, or
money
is
than
it
you
kind
and
of
play
a
the
false
game
flag?
more than you. So
This
My
is Saint
opinion matters
specialty. This,
more.
this is Saint
Oh,
specialty.
shit. I heard some people had some changes of heart as they were listening to certain materials. I think Legions was actually one of them. Maybe he could give like a bit of his take.
no, that was the other bald guy.
No, I recall that you were originally on like one side doing a little bit of defense, then you heard some things and then changed your stance.
For 2.5?
No, I mean a CC's reaction to 2.5.
Oh, we want to talk about that? I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I thought that's what we meant by discourse, unless I'm tripping, Cap.
Well, you
You
can
wanna
talk
talk
about,
about that?
whatever, but we could talk about the general sentiment of like community reactions towards creators.
Let's talk about it generally then. It's just Legions had a very specific quote that came to mind.
I'll say the quote.
You already said it. You already said it.
I did. But I was trying to hide it over everyone talking.
Sly. No, I guess we could start by saying, do you think that the community is quote unquote gotten worse over time, or do we think it's just more voices that have come out because of the story quest? How do we feel about
Brax
this?
wants to answer this one.
Go on, Brax.
Dude, okay. This happens in every fucking game. Every fucking game. The game's out for like a year. People get tired of not having something to do, even though it's their favorite game. They want to play it more. They get bored, so they start shitting on everyone and the game. And I feel like this happens all the fucking time. And it was just a matter of time before everyone that loved Kuro games and loved fucking Wuthering Waves was going to be like, I'm so pissed off. I'm so disappointed. I want to go punch that guy. You know, I fucking hate this game. This is the worst game ever. Next
People
patch
say
comes,
like
flip flop.
gotcha community too, though. But you can attest this too, Brax, because you play FF14. That community fucking does that shit all the time too, with shipping and like remember Emmett Selk's story. Like that's essentially the same thing as Phrolova almost. Yeah, like it's not even just people will say it's the gotcha community. It's every fucking community. You should see the anime community.
Yeah, so
on
bad.
some of the videos I have from my old TikTok, bro. I would get millions of people going to war in the comments over fucking One Piece characters. It's insane.
Just look at a power scaling subreddit.
Oh my god.
Oh god, Jesus Christ.
Fucking.
I'm good. I'm not going near
I'll
that
be
shit,
reacting
actually.
to a certain anime and that has nothing to do with JJK, and people will be like, "Gojo clears." I'm like,
Bro,
are you
stop.
talking about,
Oh
bro?
my god. No.
Sukuna low diff. Sukuna low diff.
Stop. Boruto versus Naruto dialogue.
Goku solos. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are we talking about?
It's funny you say that because I'm in kind of the Bleach fandom as well. and that shit gets shit on all the fucking time.
It's
by
anywhere there's power scaling, especially like when you bring a Bleach that has one of the most insane dumb power scaling in any like
yeah,
anime
people like,
ever.
Bleach
Like,
is impossible to power scale. Bleach is impossible to power scale.
Spiritual pressure.
There's no like definitive numbers and shit. I'm like, fuck off. Just fuck off. Like, just watch the fucking show, man. Like, it's not that deep, bruh. Who gives a fuck about whether you want two characters to fight that from completely different fucking series? Like, please kill yourself in game.
okay.
I will say too.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
going back- I'll say going back on topic. I had
I was
like
about to do that.
hundreds of comments,
Mhm.
like just dude, people going to war, and the whole me feeling sympathy for Phrolova. I don't know if you guys got this too, because I'm sure some of you guys also said you felt sympathy. I had people calling me like Hitler because I was feeling sympathy for a genocidal maniac. I'm like,
Bruh,
it's
have
not
you
that
seen
serious.
Cap's chat?
Like,
Have you seen Cap's chat? When I was
What?
speaking about it, people were saying, "Who the fuck is this guy? Get this guy off. He knows nothing." I'm like, bro, please leave me alone.
oh, with
Don't
the
worry
earlier
about it.
comments.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I was getting shit on, bro.
I'm personally of the boat that any sort of discourse that we're having regarding like the story and then like people's sort of like interpretations of different characters, I don't think that unless it's getting like incredibly toxic where you're saying somebody's a Nazi, I don't think that sort of discourse can inherently be that unhealthy. I think all it really shows is that people have a lot of different ways to interpret this story. That's how multi-layered it is, and that's how not handheld. Like, you're not being told by the developer how you're supposed to feel. You're not being told by the writer how you're supposed to react. And I think that's a sign of a complex story and a mature story that has confidence in the viewer to come up with their own interpretations. And the amount of discussion that's ongoing with the game is kind of like a sign of that. And I don't inherently view that as like a bad thing. I think every video that comes out where somebody's disagreeing with somebody's lore take, or I think your prediction is wrong because of that, and my prediction is right because of this. At the end of the day, you're all just theory crafting, right? On stuff you don't even fucking know. Everyone's just guessing at this point. Nobody's right or wrong, but people are just having fun with it, right? And until it gets to the point where you're like actually insulting each other because of a story take, and if you're doing that, like, brother, go outside. I'm not even joking. Like if you're doing that, legitimately go touch grass. It's as long as you keep in mind that any story discussion should be fun in games, and you keep it that way. Any discourse, any disagreement, go for it. It has my seal of approval.
As long as we're not in the realm of genuine toxicity, like you say, because that is just stupid. That's what I kind of say. Do we feel that that's increased though? Do we feel that this 2.5 and people talk about? Do we think it's increased because of this?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
But I think that's because the game's getting more popular.
Yeah.
And not to shit on Hoyo, but a lot of the other games that they have are not doing as well as they were. So a lot of those people are getting bored with that game and now going to other games. Who was one of them?
Have any of you guys played the ZZZ 2.1 story?
Oh.
I quit after 1.5.
I wanted
probably
to
never
do
touched that
something in
game.
Minecraft
Oh.
while playing that story.
Yeah,
You would
Isn't that
have
I
bad?
saw the one clip. My chat linked me the clip of you pointing the gun to the screen. I was
Everybody-
actually crying, bro. That was so funny. He's like, oh, unfortunately, it's not loaded.
I did that because everybody in ZZZ is Paimon. Everyone
Yeah.
is
Oh,
Paimon.
okay.
They just repeat themselves ad nauseum. The same line 3 times.
It's
in
such
the
a
span
shame
of,
though,
like, 2
because it
minutes.
didn't used to be like that in the 1. Like up to
It didn't.
1.4.
It didn't. That's the thing. It was so good at 1.4, and then it's like, I honestly feel like I cannot get a decent story experience outside of like potentially like a Genshin main quest, like maybe
Shit, I
like
even like
parts of like a
1.2.
Genshin main quest.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been definitely, like you say, a lot of people going from one communities to another and getting bored. We're seeing that, but although we saw that with kind of like with Honkai, like Star Rail, even like 3.4 is like apparently has like a good story, right? It's kind of the consensus that has had a good story as well. I don't know.
I think.
Mhm.
Sorry, I thought you were done. Did Honkai Star Rail, right? But I'm not gonna derail the conversation a shit ton.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I got really irritated in that community was because as soon as the story got more convoluted and like more yappy, a bunch of the like most annoying people move to that community. And I do think that there comes a certain like type of really fucking irritating, annoying ass person when lore gets really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like not everyone who enjoys lore is like that, but there are plenty of people who are like, oh, you have good lore, I'm gonna ruin your entire day. And I feel like that also is a symptom. Like it gets more popular, you get more people like that who like you actually just don't want to have those discussions with.
If you don't enjoy, I think that's like part of the problem, right? If you're not enjoying the story in the right way, or you're not understanding things as correctly, they then have to ruin your experience even further playing a game. I feel like that's kind of the problem that 2.5 has been having with discourse of people, members of the community kind of being like, oh, you didn't understand things fully, well, you're a moron, which is kind of like not supposed to help. Like, who does that help? Who does that help?
Is anyone actually getting told that though? That
I see it every now and then.
I had to send like probably 30 people to Shadow Realm the other day after the live stream for 2.5.
I feel like this is an internet problem because this happens with like pretty much every single community that gets, like you said earlier, with any kind of community that gets big. People want to just kind of, they want to be right. They want to feel vindicated in their opinion. And people who have never been touched as a child, or their mums didn't love them, or their fathers didn't come back from the milk. Like they just want to have their opinions put out there. And if you don't agree with them, then they get like their backs up and then they start shitting on you. It's kind of like and then you are kind of seeing it with the WuWa community right now. I think a little bit, which is pissing me off. This is a fun game. Don't piss me off. I'm going to crash out.
Chat, we know that Twitch chat and YouTube isn't the whole community. We know that.
Yeah.
We're talking about from our experience.
The people that engage with content creators about gacha games are not the normies of gacha. These are people who are heavily invested. The people on Twitter, the people who watch reaction content of like story stuff and things like that. These are the hardcore people who really love these games. I think that the average normal person will just play the story games and just kind of be done with it. So you kind of have to realize that I don't think that it's not a representation of like a whole gacha community. Just like the online anime community isn't the whole anime community. People will just watch the shows and kind of move on and be done with it. So I don't think it's like a problem for it's not a problem that could be solved, I think, is really the takeaway. It's just something you have to deal with. For every like individual creator, it's something you just have to deal with on a personal level, like how you choose to like moderate your people, how you choose to interact with your own community in your own spaces. That's the only thing you can do.
You choose to crash out.
I think we should just instigate.
I mean, personally, at a baseline, all this is somebody disagreeing with you, right? It's like, I mean, God forbid that happens to any of us. But I think just like as a content creator, I mean, your opinion everyone's not always going to share your opinion all the time. And I think that when it comes to like crash outs in the space, reactions to the space, how people respond in the space, right? That's really just all it boils down to is how do you react? How do you respond when people disagree with you? And I guess that's kind of really just it. And I guess maybe this is one of those times where a lot of disagreements are being had. But I mean, I feel like it's just kind of, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Like, oh my gosh, this is like some sort of like unforeseen, like crazy like I feel like we've been around the block a couple of times.
I think the community has been the same. It's just bigger. I think that's generally what it is. The community's added the same it always has. There's just more voices to add to the pile.
I don't think there's been as much room for interpretation about the story too. And I think like the most recent one was 1.3 maybe for interpretation of the story, where it's like, people were maybe like, okay, it was a little bit too wordy, or it's like, oh, I didn't like the shorekeeper part. Oh, but I like the shorekeeper part. That seems like the most controversial thing. Like 1.3 feels the most controversial in recent memory, and then obviously this one over here. But for kind of like 2.0, 2.2, 2.4, it was kind of like there was only one opinion to have. I don't really think there was too much room to like discuss about it. Everyone was just like, yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I feel like another big reason why it kind of divided people as much as it did is the nature of a lot of gacha games is the MC is more of a self-insert, right? Instead of like a pre-named character and such. Whether you think that or not, a lot of people think like Rover's a self-insert and not. I've seen a lot of people get very attached to Rover, or the main character, and self-insert. And I feel like because this is the first real time that we have seen Rover kind of in
Has his
more
own
of a
agency.
gray zone. Yeah, more of a I
I
don't
felt
know
like
the
he
right
felt
word
more
for it, but
human.
Yeah,
What I was saying,
exactly.
he felt
It's
more
like-
human. You know?
he's making mistakes, he's fucking up, and again didn't achieve his goal. It's the first time we're seeing that, so of course I feel like the people that are treating the character as a self-insert are going to be more vocal about what they think about it, rather than just sitting back on the sidelines like they might typically do.
Rover's
well.
always
Yeah.
wanted. Rover has always traditionally done what the player has wanted them to do in that point in the story. There's never been a
Yep.
moment in the past where people are like, I didn't want Rover to do that. It's been the right action every time. And it seems like in this circumstance, right? Some people, and that's where I think people are getting split.
Yep.
Because they're Sims.
Is it just me that thinks that self-inserting is cringe? Like really, really cringe.
I think it can actually be done
it's
pretty well
tough enough.
depending on the situation.
Like Persona is one of the games where I think it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some games that do it well. And some
In
games
I
that
guess
do
in
it well.
gachas, in gacha specifically, I guess.
Oh yeah, they're mostly cringe most of the time in gacha
I
games.
hate it in gacha. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that a lot of it is just also like, I don't even know what to call it, a different amount of literacy. Like there's people that are playing all of these free anime games because they're like, this is like their first game. They don't want to spend $60 on it. They get into Genshin, they get into Star Rail, they get into Zenless Zone Zero, right? And then they
$200 for
and
a
they're-
character. Yep.
yeah, and then they're like used to this form of storytelling where it's like everything is perfect all the time and nobody is morally bad, and if they are bad, they're redeemed or they are Senora, right? So all of these things sort of keep happening in the popular games. So people go to Wuthering Waves, which is popular but not as big as like Genshin, obviously, and then they see like, wait, what do you mean this isn't perfect? Well, I don't like that, you know, and now it's everyone's problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that self-insert can be done well, but I also like, for me personally, I always like narratives where it's like a character that we learn about and we're kind of just piloting them. Yeah, E33, The Witcher 3, like Geralt has so much
God.
fucking lore,
I'm
right? And you learn so much about it.
First time right now.
Dude, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I guess the
Great
thing
game.
is like people use the self-insert label a lot. And I think to a degree, the less of a character's past that you know, the more self-inserty they are. Like
Yeah.
Amnesiac is sort of like the number one sort of like background lore, right? That happens in this kind of business. But I kind of almost view it as there's beginning to be too much characterization for Rover and their past deeds. And like we're learning more and more every patch. I think they become less of a self-insert like every single story update.
100% agree.
That's the vibe that I'm getting
that
at
too.
least, right?
Yeah.
I'm beginning to feel more. Yeah, I'm beginning to feel more and more like I'm playing like Geralt from Witcher 3 as opposed to like the protagonist of like Saints Row 4, right? Like I'm feeling more like I'm playing a Geralt because there's already these past relationships that have been established. Like, guys, you want to know what like meeting Shorekeeper and Phrolova felt like to me? It felt like I was playing like Witcher 2 or 3 and I didn't know who Triss or Yennefer was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I met them in game and I'm like, wait, they're fine as fuck, but I actually know them, right? And so that's kind of like, that's what it's feeling like when I'm meeting new characters in WuWa. I feel like, yeah, it feels more like a Witcher game than, you know, brand spanking new stuff like it kind of is in Genshin.
No, that's actually a really good comparison with Witcher 3 and the character introductions. I didn't really think of that. That's a good way of framing it.
It's weird as well because even with Genshin, I've never seen like the Traveler, even though they're quite literally most of the time just called the Traveler. I've never seen them as a self-insert. But then again, I just don't really like self-inserts in general. So even if it's shoved into my face, I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I
I'm the
view
same way.
I view Traveler as more the self-insert because they literally don't fucking
talk.
know anybody. So like every relationship is like
True.
a blank slate, which would be the equivalent of you taking a shuttle pod down into the middle of Teviot and I guess trying to do the same shit that they were doing, right? You're kind of started from the same baseline.
Them not
Yeah.
speaking much either doesn't really help.
Yeah, the
That
not
was such a
speaking
dog
much is
shit
the thing
MC.
that does it for
Yeah.
me. The not knowing anyone makes sense in the story, obviously, because it's a fucking descender, not from this
Yeah.
world, that they shouldn't
Yeah.
know anybody. So
Yeah.
that part's like, it is what it is. But they're not talking. Yeah, bro.
I feel like
Oh, Rover
Traveler
talked
is-
a lot.
Dog shit, horsecock, yeah, same. I fucking shit MC.
I've always felt like Traveler is more like a catalyst for other interactions to happen and to get other people around them to talk rather than them themselves.
So he's a cook.
Okay, not quite. I wouldn't quite put it like that, but I feel like you could frame it as either a good or bad thing. I think a lot of people could kind of see it as a good thing of like the Traveler is the reason why stuff moves and stuff progresses and has interactions with everybody else, and it's one way of doing it. I know for some people it works and for others it doesn't, but I don't know.
Who does it work for? Send me a name. I need to.
Well, there's definitely a lot of people who it does.
Put them on a list,
evidently, but
that person's not be able to fly to other countries.
But I don't know. That's kind of how I've always viewed them. Is they're just a catalyst for interactions rather than like being someone who's intrinsically involved. But that seems to be changing. Well, so we'll see. We'll see.
Not in Hoyo, it's not.
Well,
one of my chat just said. Someone in my chat just said like, and MCs in Genshin think they're red, but they don't have the aura. You guys know red from Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
They all feel like, you know,
oh my God,
they are the main character, and then they just don't fucking say shit, and they don't aura farm at all.
Oh,
Insane.
that's a good one, actually. That is a good one.
Oh my god.
You meant the fucking color, bro. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Like I thought they're like literally red, and I was like,
Yeah, they thought they were like red, like Roja, like.
Are they colorblind? Like a lot of things look red. A lot of things look red to colorblind people.
Awesome. Do we have any sort of closing thoughts about 2.5? The community, anything like that? Anyone excited for 2.6? What do you think might happen? Anything else?
No, not excited at all.
Tonight,
Yeah.
you know, drip marketing tonight. Can't wait.
Oh, is it gonna be tonight?
Dude, yeah,
oh
if
my
it's
God.
not, I'm quitting the game for a whole patch.
I'm so looking forward to
too.
out of all the characters in rinascita, I'm looking forward to Yuno the most. I'm gonna be so honest. Like she looks so cool. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean,
I need my Ishtar and WuWa.
You got the sun and moon motif, and
Yeah.
so if the
Yeah,
sun
you didn't get her in
releases and the
Hawkeye
moon
Star
doesn't-
Rail, so.
Yeah, if the sun releases and the moon doesn't, the devs can go fuck themselves, right? Then they already fucked
Yeah, true. Dude, I'm gonna be so
Like-
pissed if they. Oh my god.
Like what?
Yeah.
You're just not gonna pair the moon character with the sun character? Are you on crack?
No, they're gonna give us bullying. They're gonna give us bullying, bro.
Oh no, stop. They're gonna give us a dude.
Imagine Booling is the 5-star. Like if Booling is the 5-star for 2.6 second half,
It would actually be
Good God.
he was burning down. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody's gonna do something.
Yeah, Brax.
I forgot what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter. No, but I would like to see Yuno drip, and if she's not, it's whatever. I do think that the last thing about 2.5 that I found really interesting, and it's kind of going back to what we were talking about with like the community acting out of hand a little bit.
Mhm.
I was very surprised to see how much backlash Jenazad gave it or got for giving it a 7. Because I don't know if you've seen any videos or tweets or anything, but people are dogging on that guy like non-fucking stop.
Well,
And it's really crazy because I think if you compared it to like a not gacha game, I think 7's actually pretty fair.
I'm gonna say-
Yeah, I think so too.
But
yeah.
my thinking of this, right, is like when you are, whether or not you could agree with the rating for him, like general story 7 is actually really good, that's fair enough. But when you have a whole community of people that are saying one thing and one person says something kind of different, and those people don't know how that person might rate something, I think it's fair to expect people to like be confused. Is it not?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say it's not about the rating, but I guarantee you if he gave it a 9, nobody would be giving it shit.
Yeah, it's
Right. Yeah, it is 100% about the rating. People are like, oh, he didn't pay attention. Okay, if he paid attention and gave it a 7, people would just say he didn't get it and it's a bad take. Right? Like, you know how this community works because we see it all the fucking time. And I think it is crazy. I expected a little bit of backlash. I did not expect it to be that bad.
I will
No,
say
me either.
he threw fuel on the fire though when he pretty much called his own community poor and said,
Oh.
I spend more money on the game than you, so I have the better say. I got
See, I
invited
didn't
to
know that
WuWa
happened.
Fest. Yeah, and then he also said,
I guess
he also
This
said
is-
I got invited to WuWa Fest and you that for a reason. Obviously, it's because of his community, his Wuthering Waves viewers. That's why I got invited. So I was on his side until he said that, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie. He made it worse by saying that. I
It's like
think if you
pouring
never
gasoline on
said
yourself
that,
and
it
then
would've
lighting
been
a cigarette.
fine.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Yeah, Brax, to sort of like add on to what you're saying, you want to know who else gave the story a 7?
Techie did at first, right?
I'm not talking about Techie though,
Oh, who?
but you don't know, right?
No, I don't know because they haven't gotten shit.
I guess so, right? You don't know, which is like there are people that have given out 7s, like Fob, that had like their own personal reasons for doing it, and they explained their reason well. Fob just didn't like the ending. Fob didn't like Phrolova as much of a character, and nothing
Remember seeing that
became of
tweet.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
I gave it a 7. I would give it about a 7 for a story in general. I'd give it about a 7. For a gacha story, I'd rate it a bit higher because for gacha reasons. But
and the thing is, Fob is like 2 to 3k CCV.
Right. Yeah,
he just
big.
gave it a 7 live on stream, and so you would imagine if it was just because of the rating, Fob would be getting a ton of shit too, but he got absolutely almost nothing. I think he had one moment where he was like,
Yeah, Curlbot goggles enabled.
Yeah.
Let's read what this guy is typing.
like he had one moment where he did that, but it was just like funny, right?
Yeah.
He did that a little bit way too good.
Was Fob's rating just on stream or was it also on Twitter?
It was on stream and it was reposted to Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, but Jenazad's was posted by himself,
stream?
right?
On stream and reposted to Twitter.
I think it was also
He also
the
posted on
video
YouTube.
he
I
uploaded,
feel
right?
like it's-
He made it. I think the difference being is that Fob doesn't do. Correct me if I'm wrong. He doesn't do like a review of the story like on stream, or does he? And then post it. But Jenna does.
He gives
And I
like
think
he
that's
gives
where
like
a lot of the
rating
discourse came
at
from.
the end, but that's about it. Yeah. I will say I think that he reached a boiling point and crashed out because if you remember, there's been moments with like the Roshia thing, the 2.0 anniversary thing. I feel like I could name a couple more. So I think it's just built up with the community, and he just like has a disdain for the Wuthering Waves community, and that's why he kind of just exploded in the way that he did.
Yeah,
Wait, you think
the
he
thing is-
doesn't like the WuWa community?
No, he literally says it all the time that he hates.
Well,
them.
he says
if you-
Kurobots.
I mean, okay.
He
I
says Kurobots,
I hate
not
the
the
WuWa community too, but like, I think like deep down we all like appreciate that they're there, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the
They
day,
hate a specific community. To me, it's pretty clear they mean they hate the people that they see as the dumb fucks of the community.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
annoying
exactly.
motherfuckers, not everybody in the community.
And the thing is, the framing that you guys have, it makes a ton of sense, right? But this is kind of like the unfortunate part of the scenario is I made a video covering the topic. And one of the reasons why I made a video covering the entire topic is because, it's a recent common event, very big in the WuWa space going on, just as a
And there's
WuWa
nothing else going on in the game
covering
right
it,
now.
right?
Yeah.
That too, right? And the second reason why I gave it is because I'd like to believe that I'm like one of the bigger voices, bigger CCs in the WuWa space. And so
100%.
when the community is naturally being painted as negative, toxic, etc., so on and so forth, right? I get backlash. I get blamed for it. And people say that part of it is attributable to me, right? And so one of the reasons why I made that video diving into the Jenazad, the rating issue, the crash out, all of that, was to actually be able to pinpoint blame, right? See what's going on. Is the input in this situation warranting the output over here? Where we're saying that Kurobots are retarded, we're saying that they're a waste of oxygen, that they're too stupid to live, etc., etc. We're then like flexing how we're going to Kurofest and how their opinion means less than us because we pay more on the game and we spend more time on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the extent of the crash out. And I'm just like, okay, surely something terrible must have happened. Something terrible was said for this crash out to occur. And I just want to be like, okay, the WuWa community is being put in a bad light. I'm getting flack for it. I'm getting partially blamed for it.
Were you?
Let's just get down to the bottom of
Were people
this.
actually blaming you for that? I don't really recall
they say Saint's making the WuWa community toxic. He's making it toxic positive. That's why Jenna's getting so much shit.
Literally,
Saint
when I
just keeps
reacted to
blazing
your video yesterday,
game.
people were like, "Oh, why are you watching his video?"
Exactly, right? That is the narrative that goes on anytime the WuWa community does something toxic. And this is the reality of the situation is Jenna said he was openly not reading his comments. He said that he was refusing to read them and that everybody critiquing him was just a Kurobot. And that's a very blanket statement, sort of generalization thing, right? And so I'm just like, okay, let's see what the comments were because he's not going to read them. And all the comments were just regular baseline critiques about like, hey, you said this part was confusing, But if we saw your stream, we saw your VOD because we're viewers of yours, and you weren't paying attention very much at all. You were like, goofing around doing all this stuff. And so this critique point that you're making that the story was like confusing or using like flower language, so on and so forth, we feel like you wouldn't make it if you paid more attention. That was like 90% of the comments. And to just say, oh, comments from your longtime viewers are just curlbots. It's just like this. It's just like the overarching toxic positive community. When it's actually his own viewers making those comments. And then that crash out where we're calling them worthless, we're saying all this stuff, we're flexing Curlfest, that was made basically in response to his own viewers. The most offensive thing I found in that comment section was him being called a walnut.
I don't know.
See, this
so
is crazy because I had like no information about this situation at all. Like this just flew under my radar completely. So I'm clueless about any of this.
That's fair.
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the top comments, it's just like it's not people directly like, it's not people calling him names and shit, right? It's not people calling him an idiot. It's people saying this is a bad take. This is why. Right. So there are people that are trying to have that discussion, but alongside that, you also get the bad actors who are like, I'm going to try to ruin this guy's day because I disagree with him. Right.
And this is the thing, right?
And that's the shit that carries more weight. But I also didn't know about the crash out. Right. Like from my perspective, I just see this guy getting lit the fuck up on Twitter. And then I see the VOD and he calls it a 7. In his video, he doesn't crash out on people.
And just like I said, I think he reached a boiling point with the community after having so many like things, like I said, the Roshia thing where people were calling him a PDF because he S6 Roshia. The take he had on Wuthering Waves 2.0 anniversary. Like I think there was one more where like people were on his shit for Wuthering Waves. I don't remember, but I think it just like it was like built up over time, and he's just like, you know what, fuck these people. Like
Probably understandable.
People
reach a breaking point at the end of the day, and it can be the smallest thing that tips someone over the edge if that is the case.
I think we have to understand that like people are human and like we all get frustrated and we all have our moments where we blow up, and I can kind of understand why that might happen. So I think it's unfair to dogpile on someone who can have a human reaction to something. I think it's all about like consistency. Like is someone consistently doing something like that, and then you can make judgments. But I think in this instance it's just a case of like frustration. That's kind of how I see it anyway. And I think there's something to be said about what makes a critical comment rational versus irrational, because you could say an irrational comment is one that is like laced with the toxicity, and you could label, and that's why people label some comments like, oh, the Kurobots are talking, because it's an irrational critical comment. So it's just about filtering out what we only to really in ourselves as like, or like as creators to take in the rational ones versus the irrational comments. I think is just really how to keep your own peace. That's it. Like keeping.
Well, I think and the thing is, I guess the main thing is to know if a comment's rational or not. You got to read it. Yeah, you can't just say I'm not reading the comments. They're all just Kurobots.
I'm gonna be honest. For him to get that mad, he read the comments. Like there's no way you say I didn't see the comments, but yet all of them are bad. Like that's probably why he was so triggered.
But the thing is, unless the comments were deleted, which they might have been.
I brought that up too,
yeah, I went through my vid. We looked at all the comments. There wasn't a single one that mentioned the score of 7. It was all just quoting him saying that the story was confusing, and then them giving the feedback. We just wished you paid attention to the WuWa 2.5 story.
Yeah, like he did with Limbus Company.
Locked in for your Limbus playthroughs.
I did think it was kind of interesting though, because he when he said the story is confusing, he mentioned specifically that Phrolova's dialogue could sorry, I have a speech impediment. Leave me alone. That Phrolova's dialogue can be confusing at the way that she talks. Like she speaks in riddles, and that was something that like even I mentioned a lot during my playthrough. But I've never, even with my reviews as well, I never once got called out for saying that it was too confusing, which I think is interesting.
Maybe it's because I played in Japanese dub. I didn't get that at all from her. I don't know. Maybe it's like
she
an English
speaks
dub thing.
in a very sort of flowery language, which I kind of feel like if you're not an English first speaker, you might have to like reread like a couple times to maybe understand what the deeper meaning of what she's trying to say. But I think overall, like it's enough to kind of get the gist. But I can understand why someone would say it's unnecessarily confusing, but not confusing, just takes a little bit more to understand, but I don't think it's a problem, but I could see it being a problem for some.
Cap accuses all people who didn't understand the WuWa 2.5 story of being English second language.
Yeah, you just simply cannot read.
That does make sense. Yeah, for like the people from the UK, true.
Oh, we literally made the language, man. Hello, you speak English for a reason, okay?
You speak Americanese. Let's be so honest.
Yeah, the people from England are the #1 targets here. Yeah, they're the most.
all I'm saying is the American quote unquote language. The reason why your language is like that is because you're all stupid and you had to remove letters from words because you couldn't spell them properly.
That's true.
Do you know the actual US law? America started removing letters from words.
It was from advertisements, right?
It was because it was cheaper to print newspapers by removing certain letters.
Oh my god.
That's based.
So not only are the idiots, not only the idiots, they're also broke.
You want to know why we didn't add them back in? A waste of time.
Go next country.
Think about how much time your school children have wasted writing the extra U in color. Think about it retroactively. How much time would have been saved across your entire civilization if you just didn't have all those useless letters?
This is nitpicking to the highest degree. Again? The highest degree.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, hey, I think you know what? I think that's a good way to end it. Fuck the British, am I right? I mean, crazy. You know.
No, stick up for yourself. Fuck the Americans.
No. Oh, I do want to say one thing. I'm so glad. My favorite thing about 2.5 is the fact that we now have Welsh people confirmed in Wuthering Waves lore, and I just want to say my people is finally represented.
Yeah, but they're also dead in lore.
Okay, you don't have to do that to me, bro. You don't have to do it like that.
That's the Welsh history. That is the Welsh history.
You don't have to do it like that.
Are they dead or like Phrolova dead?
They're like in Phrolova's. They're in Phrolova's realm. You can interpret that.
Oh my god, that's why the meteor hit. It was God saying, "Don't fuck sheep."
Oh my god.
Oh, the meteor hit because they were trying to take out that one Welsh person on the island.
Exactly.
Why isn't Phrolova Welsh then? I'm sad. She's like me, like Welsh but sounds English.
She's based.
What if the meteor?
She didn't. She got rid of the accent because it was disgusting to listen to.
Okay.
What if the meteor was just Phynon in his ultimate?
The Welsh part of Phrolova died.
And Phynon just went back home and nuked it. And that, like, the home in Wuthering Waves was actually Phynon's home.
Oh my god.
That's why they look so similar.
Oh god, they went back to Britain. They went back to Britain.
Too. Britain.
I can't wait for the collab between HSR and WuWa. It's gotta be huge, guys.
God. Oh, somebody mentioned this the other day, and I was like, "There's just no fucking way they do it." Like, neither of them. It would be
enough money.
Do you think there's any odds that?
War.
Imagine the war gets like so bad though that like the government steps in and they're like, okay, you guys have to collab. You have to play nice. Go have a.
You guys are literally killing each other on the streets.
The only way a Kuro and Hoyo collab would work is if they actually had added PvP for the event. Genuinely.
True. Enemies
would be the only way to unite the player base.
We could quite possibly be like 5 months away from the collab. Speaking of the collab for WuWa.
Oh my god, Edge Runners collab.
The Edge Runners.
Ooh, Edge Runners. Yeah.
Dude, I hope
honestly,
it's in fucking what the hell is the name of that city?
New Federation.
Yeah, I hope it's like really like cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Ethereals.
The fake collab being so dog shit is one of the best like
fucking
buffs WuWa has ever gotten.
Dunk. It should be an easy dunk.
Such an easy dunk.
Literally, WuWa has to like actively try to fuck up to ruin this.
Just make Lucy hot and all will be forgiven. Don't make her look fucking retarded like fucking Saber did.
Because we've never seen any of the Edge Runner characters in 3D ever, so they're gonna be the ones to kind of, are they gonna make them look good? That's what I'm worried about. Are these 2D characters gonna look good in 3D? I don't know.
Jiggle physics are gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm just excited to
for real.
To a place because 2.0 always seems like has a fantasy RPG vibe to it. I'm just excited to go to like sci-fi now. Like actually full on embrace it. I'll be so ready for that.
Yeah, I'm tired of Europe.
I don't care for the sci-fi shit as much, but like high key, I feel like something like Cyberpunk would be dope, especially with the collab coming out and everything, dude. Like imagine where
with
okay. I don't think they would do this because God forbid anyone make the right decision, but I would really love playable David with a Sandevistan that affects the timer in events.
Ooh.
Like imagine like he
Or he'd be a
ults
boss.
and like literally the timer slows down on your clear. That would be so fucking sick. Just like a little wall, like fourth wall break.
How
Like,
crazy.
That
he
would
doesn't even have
also
to be that crazy.
ridiculously powerful, though, at the same time.
Yeah, people are gonna say
Yeah, we'll just make him dog
And
shit,
then
but make him
Adam
do a cool
Smasher
thing.
comes in and fucking
I mean,
obliterates him.
like Brax, I
Play
get what
that
you're saying.
away.
Like thematically, they could just make like his liberation do that, and then he's in like some super powered mode. But it's like it's balanced enough so that by the end of his liberation, you've done like similar damage to other ultimates.
Exactly.
Right? But it's just like a flavor thing because you get
Another
time
thing.
stop and WuWa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like time stop and WuWa, right? Where it's like the only effective thing on the timer is like a couple of sections or a couple of seconds for like ending lag, and then you just turn the ending lag into like David's entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good.
That'd be fun. Looking forward to Edrin as man. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Anyway, I think that's a good idea to wrap everything up. I appreciate all of you who have come on to Yap today. Some of it a little bit spicy, some of it a little bit has some really good discussions about lore predictions in the future, and I really appreciate all of y'all's time. Thank you so much for hopping in.
Aww.
Awesome, thanks for hosting and great chats today. Fun.
Thanks for having me.
Crew.
Thank you, female
yeah.
Tectone. This was great. Thanks for putting this all together.
Thank you, silly Welsh woman.
Awesome. I hope you'll have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, dude.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, Brits.